All right, on another adventure. Gonna hit the Art Loeb trail, taking our first steps out. So we didn't have a smooth start. We forgot a couple things in the car. Had to go back for it. Luckily, we checked it in the first quarter mile when we got to this bridge. Hey, how's it going?
Enjoy the walk.
Yeah.
Yep. I always say I'll try. Yeah, no, busy first day. Everyone's super nice, so I can't really complain a whole lot. A lot of bikers. And this is bridge number 2. And first climb. If we got any botanists out there, can we identify these plants right here? It's not even a super view, it's just so pretty out here. Maybe it's just my first time in a couple months, so I'm just actually getting to enjoy it again. So I really didn't get the whole trekking pole thing until you got like a 45 pound backpack on and you rocking through mud and on an incline. Oh, we got my wife a pair of them and I was like, nah, I'm a good enough rocker, I don't need that. Oh, sure would make life easier right now. First trail obstacle. One foot in front of the other. It's a little bit better in person, but just through this on this little bend, it's a nice little view. First climb on longer trails is always an interesting one, especially when it comes super early. Real leg burner. Wife's not very happy right now, but makes the flat spots easier, right? It's been in a green tunnel. Something along the lines of this entire time. Pretty common for the East Coast though, from what I hear. And then you have little pop-out views. And more tunnel. And up ahead, the blaze. Now, I know like the rule of thumb is that you're supposed to see the next blaze from the first blaze. But honestly, Art Loeb doesn't necessarily do the greatest job of that. Say what? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the trail is well enough marked where you don't really need the blazes. There's not a lot of offshoots, so it is what it is. There's only been a couple times where I'm like, there's no way it goes up that way, and then you look up and it's like a campground area. But the path is really well defined, as you can see. My wife just said, it's not too late to turn around. You can always turn back. We don't have to do this. Little does she know, I have to do this. If I can't do this one, then there's no way I go onto a bigger trail and do that one. Maybe it'd be a good learning opportunity, but this is a proof to self that I can do what I set my mind to. You guys are going first, because I'm tired of walking into the spider webs. It's getting kind of windy, but we finally found a place to stop for lunch. So I'm trying to make that quick and get going. Butter Gap Shelter is the goal for the night. So as we were getting ready for lunch, it decided it wanted to rain. So I used my wife's jet boil underneath my little poncho. She's got her rain gear on and gonna do some tuna. So it's the reality of camping, I guess. Rain on the first day, thunderstorms. I mean, it's not super bad right now, but essentially had lunch in a poncho, like all crawled up underneath it. Wife finished up lunch first, so she hikes a little slower than I do, so I had told her to go up ahead. Hopefully I catch up to her here shortly. Caught a little bit of service. Plan right now is to hike through this thunderstorm. Didn't see the lightning. Don't know how close that is. Plan right now is to hike through the thunderstorm. This is coming from the west and we're heading west. So the idea is we'll walk into it and through it faster than if we just hunker down. I think we're physically inside the storm right now. And being physically inside the storm, I honestly don't know if I'm getting more wet from the sweat, from this tarp, poncho, or from the rain. I mean, obviously from earlier, so we caught up to each other. But now we're going through, there's a witch that lives in the forest, scene out of a movie. I think we're in the thunderstorm right now, like physically in the cloud. But it is definitely a sight. Also, I believe we're doing the steepest climb of the day. Something like 10% on average grade. So we've already gone through the cycle of burning legs, jello legs, numb legs, back to burning legs, back to, hold on, I don't think my right leg's gonna support me no more. Waiting for them to go numb again. I guess this is kind of how you earn your trail legs. Well, I'm sure there's probably a really nice view here. Not that we can see it right now, but it's always nice to be able to go, hello! And have the void answer back. Pretty sure I got as wet with the poncho on as I would have without the poncho on. It saved me for the first little bit though, especially whenever we were just camping. We're taking another break, potty, resting. This 10% incline is no joke, but we'll get back on here shortly. Hopefully we'll hit Butter Gap by 18:30, and we'll do that. Be in a good spot to set up camp, have plenty of daylight, and maybe even get a little fire going to dry us out. Be a good time. I don't know if you can see little buddy. This is the first one we've noticed. Not been a whole lot of wildlife out here. Probably taking shelter from the storm. You know, like a sensible animal would. Chestnut Knob, which, again, probably has some pretty killer views. If it wasn't for the thunderstorm that was rolling through. But I think we're above the storm. We're not even getting rained on anymore. We get the breezes, but it doesn't seem to be coming over the top. So, onward! We just came down this. And I mean, we're still going down it, but like, this is almost as rough as the uphills. But we're starting to get the mountain ridgeline views. Actually being able to see stuff again, so that's always nice. So our main navigation tool is one of these little pocket maps. It's got like all the water sources and all that. That I'm running on. I think I'm down to like half a liter of water. I only started with 2, and some of that went to cooking. My wife started with 2. I think she's down to a liter. So we're trying to get that next water source, knowing that this trail can be kind of dry. And I thought we were there. Turns out we're about 3/4 of a mile behind where I thought we were. Which means we might have one more up and one more down than I thought we were gonna have before we get there. So not the greatest thing from a route, but we're getting there. We only got a little over, I'd say 2 miles to get to camp. Hoping to be there by 6:30, like I've been saying. I don't know how feasible that is, but as long as we get there by 7, we should be okay. Especially with the late start. It was going to be our goal for the day anyway. I just kind of wanted to get there sooner rather than later. But sometimes you got to do what the day gives you and take what you can. It's been a while since I've been backpacking. Work got kind of crazy for a little while, and I got eye surgery, no more glasses, so glad to be out here. Really happy with everything. It's definitely nice to be back out in the woods. We got a lot planned, looking at Linville Gorge in April and maybe the foothill trails in May. Hopefully those don't fall through. Right now we're just taking another potty break. It's been wet, kind of chilly, and every time you get chilly, your body wants to go out. So, my turn. Check out these cliffs. And finally got a water source. Being that it's running, we're gonna try to use it. Alright, so it's 6:50. We are definitely not at Butter Gap Shelter. My wife's been struggling with a hip problem that I thought would just go away as she warmed up, but it seems to be getting worse. But we're at that point where, 7 miles in, not a whole lot you can do. And I think, honestly, if she stretches it out tonight, she'll be fine. But we're having some backpacking meals by ReadyWise. I'm having teriyaki chicken, and she's having pasta, essentially chicken Alfredo. These meals are always pretty good, so good little morale booster while we're figuring out our next move. We might do some night hiking to get to Butter Gap, because we don't know what the weather is going to be like overnight. Signal's been really spotty. We might hunker down right here, because it's going to get dark here soon, and that means colder. It's already wet. We've already had a long day. But we're not going to make that decision until we get some hot food in our stomachs, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so figured out that we were at the Sandy Gap campsite, which leaves about 1.5 miles. So we decided to press on. It's 7:42 right now. I expect we'll get there probably around 9. It's only a couple little mini climbs that are gonna happen. Most of it's gonna be in tunnel. So even if it gets a little chillier, we'll be a little bit insulated. Oh, almost got turned around. Big campsite here. Easily hold the 10 people group limit out here if you really wanted it to. Here's the trail. Right by the place. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Underneath this brush, it's really dark. Sunset was about 15 minutes ago. So it means that you're running about out of light in about 15 minutes. So we are prepared to night hike a little bit. I'm not setting any land speed records. And we're hoping that tomorrow we'll wake up early enough, feel rested enough. We got some big climbs, about 10 miles. We haven't decided if we're going to stop just short of Black Balsam Knob or just after. You know, I said earlier how we had the Blair Witch Project stuff going on with how the grove looked. Oh boy, I think M. Night Shyamalan would be so happy with this weather right here. I think we're in the clouds, but okay, so not hiking in a cloud in the haze, probably not the best idea. However, we just went down probably the rudest decline yet. I mean, there should be one ruder whenever we get towards the end, but it definitely felt worse than the uphill. But I approximate we're about a half a mile. Yeah, I already tripped over 3 of them. Approximate that we're about a half a mile from Buttercup Shelter. Of course, I didn't turn my watch on to find out. But quite frankly, this is definitely the creepiest hike I've ever been on. And this is our sleeping setup. We're actually using our hammocks as bug bivvies, essentially. We made it to the shelter though. Only took us, 3 times longer than we thought. After brushing teeth and everything, it's only 9:30. We got here about 9. So we're just wrapping up with contacts and stuff. And then gonna hit the hay. I just gotta change my shirt and get on my pants. Well, good morning. I think we both slept about as well as a brick floats. But made it through the night. Shelter was clutch with all the rain. And it's not a bad view to start your morning with. As it seems to be tradition for the trip so far, and just about any trip I've ever been on. It took us a little longer at camp than we thought it would, but it's like 9-10 in the morning. We're heading back out. Lunch is hopefully going to be at Deep Gap, which is 6 miles, and then hopefully we will make it to Blue Ridge Parkway today, and that's the end goal. We thought yesterday's climbs were brutal. We looked at today's and they just seem insane. So keep telling ourselves once we get on Black Balsam it'll all be over. So they say this is the easier of the 2 routes. Let's go find out. I had no phone service in the shelter last night, so I didn't know what to expect for today. So far, it's nice and sunny. Yeah, it's a nice change of pace from cold and damp and rainy. And the views are better. To her credit, she's been battling a hip pain this entire time. And she's just been chugging along. So this isn't the furthest I've ever hiked. I've hiked 21 through the Mission Trails Park system over in San Diego before. That was all in one day, but I had a lot less weight too. And most of my weight was water, so the more you drank, the faster it went. Well, fairly certain this is Chestnut Mountain. And this is where our Thru ends. Wife said she can't do it no more. So we're going back the other way. Roughly 10 miles in, so the total ought to be 20 miles. We haven't determined if we're just going to try to make it back to the car and suffer and then get to a hotel, or if we're going to find a camp spot, or where exactly that camp spot's going to be at. So plan is to definitely cut her pack weight down. I might look at cutting my pack weight down, but definitely gonna get some trekking poles though. Would have made life a little easier. I think we're pretty happy with where we're at. We don't have anything to really prove to anybody, and there's always another time. You know, there will be another opportunity at some point. So maybe that'll be next month's trip instead of Linville Gorge. We'll be out here again trying to redo it, but you know, again, but better. But we'll head back down to Butter Gap, grab some food, and then go that route. Really no reason that we should have been in this bad of a predicament. You know, I guess this is coming from a place where not only did I watch a lot of YouTubers and a lot of backpackers and try to learn as much as I can, I also wanted to do it my own way and, you know, hike my own hike. And in the process, I don't think I allowed my wife to hike her own hike. And, you know, so I feel like that's a lot of my fault. You know, sometimes everyone does something for a reason, and sometimes that reason is that it works. Even the people who aren't ultralight, they don't have 20-pound base weights, you know? And if they do, they're not going as far as we are. So, you know, you really gotta hike the hike that's in front of you, and then hike your own hike as well. And I think, you know, we're learning that the hard way. Alright, so I made it back to Butter Gap Camp, in the shelter. I went ahead of my wife, and I'm waiting on her. Gonna have a snack, try to figure out where we're gonna go from here. Definitely at the anger part of grief, you know, the 7 stages of whatever, you know. I look them up, but I really don't know the service. Definitely an anger. Angry at the world, angry at myself, angry at the situation. Just healthy to go through all these emotions. They exist. They're part of life. They're part of the experience. Just gotta keep hammering through. And, everything will be okay. Yeah, I got my hand earlier this morning, by the way. Drawing my knife out of its sheath, and somehow just got myself a little slice. Doesn't really hurt. Not terribly worried about it, even if we have to stay out another night. I mean, I was preparing to finish the trail like it, so I'm gonna have some food and go from there. Alright, it's like 12:30, 12:45. Bumped into some Nobos, a few Sobos, sat down to have lunch at Butter Gap, and so, you know, we got to talking. And their packs weigh what our base weights weigh. So, you know, we were talking gear and stuff. Also, this is the part we night hiked, so this should be some new scenery at least. So last night when we thought we hit Butter Gap, we actually hit here and realized it was another mile to go. Currently we're taking it 3/4 miles at a time. We're just assessing the situation as we go. You know, I know tunnels and stuff fairly common East Coast. This is quasi claustrophobic. It's like a tunnel for ants. For as difficult as it is and as much complaining as I've done, it's actually been a really good experience. There's more than one way to enjoy life. It's not always through accomplishment, but rather spending time with the ones you love. These are some cool rocks I don't think we got to see last time. So much different during the day. Took a short break at Sandy Gap campsite. Got moving again. Take another break at Cat Gap Loop Junction. There's a nice log there. Just taking a break about every 3/4 to a mile, reassessing and going from there. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, defeated. I mean, I know there's nothing to be ashamed about not completing, but you know, still got to get through those feelings. We won't fail next time. Fail forward. Our break at Cat Gap is over. So now it is time to go to Chestnut. Oh, there's no white blaze. Doing pretty good. This is a view. Instead of all that haze. Whew. Finally put the work in today. Emotionally, mentally, physically. Another part of the trail that's different, now that we're not stuck in clouds. Instead of witchy forest, we have enchanted forest. Made it to the top of Chestnut Knob, which means you have 5 miles, I think, from here. And this is like the last major uphill. It's literally all downhill from here. I'm still waiting on the wife so we can make a determination on where we're gonna go and what we're gonna do. Talk about trying to stay at Neal's Gap. It's not a confirmed campsite there, but I'm fairly certain we saw one somewhere in that area. Got a nice little hole in the poncho. I mean, it was $4, so not a big deal. And this one's got the ambitious plan of making it all the way back to the car. Let's go see if we can do it. So I have to pretty much average this speed all downhill so that my uphills and my flats can be a little slower. Thankfully, there's a lot of down. Starting to come to the realization that I either have to wear boots if I'm going to be a load hauler, or I'm going to have to go lighter too. My ankles are killing me. I just did a full roll. And yeah, it feels great now, but I'm still able to keep up the pace. Nothing popped or anything, so no emergency yet, but not that I stopped, but I'm fairly certain I went past Neal Gap, kind of saw this campsite that we ate lunch at. Yeah, I think I got like a 5K left. Last update. for a little while. I hit the forestry road with the water source according to the mini map. The water source is way down there, guys. Don't listen to that one. I don't even know how you get there. Maybe if you head down there a little bit, you can circle back around after the bridge, it looks like. But 2 liters got us to Sandy Gap, and we only really needed like another liter or so to cook, so. This is the site for sore legs. I'm just glad to be out of this mess. Ooh, bird of some sort. All right, with the bridge, we got 0.2 miles left. It's kind of like the bittersweet moment, right? Especially since we had a bail on it. We'll be back. Nice little rapids. I'll sign off. So, thanks for watching. If you got this far, get out the door and leave no trace.